I'm running away from the past I left behind. I'm looking for answers, but I'm blinded by the light. I'm lost in the music, and I stay here for the night. I promise I'll be gone in the morning, out of sight and out of mind.
don't seem so far away. The only thing between us is empty space, empty space. Even when the music is loud, I'd rather be no other place than here with you now, here with you now. Here with you, see your face in the crowd, but you don't seem so far away. Nothing between us is empty space, empty space. Even when the music is loud, I'd rather be no other place. Here with you now, here with you now. Here with you, I see your face in the crowd, but you don't seem so far away. The only thing between us is empty space, empty space. Even when the music is loud.
Yes, you're very quite tough, always having bad luck. You think you're going crazy, look up, there's a new life waiting. Your head's buried in the sand, you've been dealt the wrong hand. Can't imagine how you feel, only you know that it's real. Don't look back, just carry on, carry on, carry on. Don't look back, just carry on, carry on, carry on. Because you are stronger. Yes, you are stronger. 17. Your head's buried in the sand. You've been dealt the wrong hand. Can't imagine how you feel. Only you know that it's real. Don't look back, just carry on, carry on, carry on. Don't look back, just carry on, carry on, carry on. Because you are stronger.
Sound resumed.
Your team over there actually has 19 points compared to Hydra's team having 17.3. If we're going by
what does that
specific...
mean?
What are you even talking about?
Yeah, what does that even mean?
It's a point system based on people's ranking, you know, from their tier and the division. So,
hey, Thick.
Anyways,
I mean, I think it's fair.
Hey,
Oh,
Jay,
turn the
hey
audio
guys,
back
we
on
just
for
got
the
in a
stream?
champ select and it didn't let Liss ban the first ban, it went automatically to second ban to other team.
You might want to go back to your own channel now with your
interesting.
team. If
Okay.
your team is here.
Yeah, we're kind of.
No, I will. I was just letting you know that's why we're restarting it because the ban got bugged real quick.
That's fine.
God, trying to
Well,
kick
what
me out
happened?
like that? Bye. I don't even have an own channel to go to. Let me go cry myself.
Are you damn Stephanny?
Damn, man. How come I can't be the only
Yeah,
pentakiller in the
even.
whole game?
Oh, your team doesn't have a.
Be right back.
Why you gotta get a pentakill, man?
User left your channel.
Alright, Dingus, are you casting this with me? Is that what's going on?
How would I cast if Jacob is sitting right here?
Because
Yeah,
everyone loves the Dingus. It's the voice. It's like having Donkey cast. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
he
Just
casted with
having
me.
Donkey cast. You know? You know how I feel? Hey, Donkey. Yo, Donkey.
hey Dinkle.
Hey, Donkey.
How did I do this?
Donkey.
Okay. Well. Yeah, let's do this, guys.
Alright.
I'll make some posts on the League People pages.
Yeah,
And, tournament.
Wait, what game did the other pentakill happen in?
That was the most recent one. Like, we just streamed it.
Is it on YouTube?
Not yet, no.
Are you ever gonna get my game up on YouTube?
It's actually uploading right now.
Okay.
Oh yeah, FeTe commentated on the game that I went off in.
Yeah.
Seeing the band going out, so Jiali, Lissandra, Vi, Jekaterina. Lissandra and Jekaterina definitely being both targets for that Dat Listo. We've seen him play on both of them and do exceptionally well, carrying both games. And actually, in fact, last game we saw him picking up that Jekaterina pentakill, as a matter of fact, the second and better pentakill of the whole series so far.
Absolutely, I agree totally, 100%. It's the better one. Sorry, Dingus. And we're gonna see a Graves band, and we're just waiting on the last band from the red side. Wow.
Wait, why?
What? Why what?
Who's our AD carry's name usually? I forgot. It's like Charmander, right? Mia Charmander?
Yeah, Mia Charmander. That's right.
Does anyone else on their team play Graves? Because, man, that guy plays Graves every game.
And we're gonna see an Orianna band, another mid lane band focused at Dat Listo.
Very interesting, and I wonder if I know that Dat Listo is the one they've had the most experience playing against. I'm sure they've been watching the stream as well and catching his plays and his picks. But we are seeing that that Diamond 4 pick, that player on the team subbing in at the moment for I believe their ADC on the second person there of the team, Fairfars, whatever his name is, Fairfars World right there. So we're wondering if that's going to be worth their focus and how that's going to play out for them, focusing only on one role in this case to ban him out. Seeing an Instalock Skarner actually on Hydra over there, we've seen him play it in this game, and he did incredibly well on him. Every game, I think I've only seen him play it twice, but we're looking for another exciting game here with that LP Hydra. You know, everyone spamming all the OP, Hail Hydra.
Hail the Hitler, what?
Indeed. Thresh pick being hovered on over there for support on Mr. FeTe. I believe he's played him quite a few times, but overall, you know, his rank and the balancing of that actually standing a lot for his skill level here in this case, because I don't think I've recalled him having any amazing or good, not really bad or anything, but no real shocking plays from him. Just another average player. We'll see how that fares out, and if he can land some nice hooks and show us the real Mad Life and summon him into this game for the victory. Cathrine on Jekaterina over there, actually hovering on the Soraka pick once again. I think our champion pool so far this entire tournament has consisted of nothing but Soraka and Janna, so not a huge surprise. And there we see her switching back to Janna, so I think that statement stands fairly accurate. And,
I think the Janna would be a better pick against the Skarner, because Skarner is going to be looking to get in there and get to the backline and pull either, if this is a Vel'Koz, or potentially the Lucian, so Janna's a nice counter pick to that.
That is definitely true, actually. But we'll have to see if her disengage between her tornado, her slow, and her ult, even at that, all things considered, will be enough to stop the massive movement speed pain train known as Skarner on LP Hydra there. Yeah, we saw it a lot last game. He rushed into the Righteous Glory, and we're probably going to see... and there's the Sivir ultimate as well. Almost Sivir was being considered floated there. That would have been a great pick for his team. Hoping he reconsiders that. Because all things considered, if that Thresh actually decides to go for a Talisman of Ascension as well, that Skarner is going to have free range to pick whoever he wants late game, and it might actually force people to go for the Quicksilver Sash as well to try to counteract that.
Yeah, I'm assuming we're gonna see. Actually, we're not gonna see the Sivir here, but I was assuming we would. And LP Hydra does build Righteous Glory on the Skarner, so he is gonna get another move speed. It's a team move speed, but it does have the slow activation. So he's gonna get in there with potentially a coin, depending on if Thresh buys it. Slow the whole team down, and potentially, if Janna doesn't disengage properly, gonna be able to get a pull onto a very immobile Vel'Koz.
Absolutely true. But Vel'Koz, we've seen him quite a few times this tournament. In fact, played by Dat Listo, but not. So that actually might be a trade that's going down there, just securing the Lucian with the first pick. He's definitely proving to be a very strong pick and very good for catching people out. Overall, if this is Dat Listo playing him this game, I think we're going to see a very safe and effective player on him at the moment. And I think he'll be fairly safe from the hooks and any CC, because he's definitely shown to be a very smart player. And that Garen pick being locked in, we've seen a lot of Garens this tournament, and every game he has been the wettest of noodles and just roams top lane, roams bottom lane, keeps going for lanes non-stop, and there is no stopping him. So this will be in a very interesting game to see how that fares, because we've actually seen him played against Gnar in about half the games as well. So this is going to be very fun to watch, guys.
Yeah, every game that we've had a Garen, except for one, we've seen a Gnar facing the Garen. And in my opinion, except last game that the Garen was played, the Gnar did get shut down. But the game before that, the Gnar shut down the Garen. So in my opinion, it's a pretty equal matchup. It just depends on the skill of both Garen and the Gnar player. So I'm interested to see how this one will play out in the top lane. And that's going to be a Zilean mid lane, which we haven't seen in a while since his Q was changed to his skill shot with the interaction of the stun if you get two of them. So I'm interested to see how this works.
That is an interesting pick there, as a matter of fact. I'm wondering how well he's going to do on it. Like you said, he was recently reworked where his Q is now a skill shot, but we did recently also see a buff where his rewind cooldown was also raised, and I think they adjusted the damage or something with his Q as well. But that'll be an interesting pick to see against that Vel'Koz. I don't know how well he's going to fare. I think he's mainly picking it just so he can have easier harass and try to push him out of lane, because if he gets knocked up or hit by anything from that Vel'Koz, he is going to get blown up. Now, it's natural, you know, he will have his ultimate, but I don't know if that's going to do him much good, because Vel'Koz has a lot of kill security with that knock-up as well, so he'll easily be able to time that from him respawning after his revive.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how this works, because Zilean, although he did get reworked, he did get a buff recently on the PvE, which lowered all his mana costs. So, but it did also nerf his attack range, so I'm interested to see how the reduced mana will influence a build, because usually when we see him, we see the Tear Legatus into the Chalice. So I want to see something different from this Zilean, hopefully to bring more kill potential, because that build takes a lot of stacking to get into the damage area. So maybe with the changes in mana, he's going to be able to build more damage early and be able to potentially duel the Vel'Koz if he's able to dodge the skill shots. And as a Zilean, you do have your speed up, so it's going to be a bit easier for him to be able to get in there and dodge those skill shots and place the mines. So I'm just going to be, I think mid lane's going to be very interesting this match.
Definitely, indeed, and I'm absolutely looking forward to what he builds as well. Hopefully, we're seeing, you know, something very original and creative here. You know, like a Zizirot's Portal, Hydra's Lament, Lichbane, Gunzo's Rageblade, Hextech Gunblade. You know, for the extra hard carry and BM. But you know, going down with style points, and we're seeing a sub on Hydra's team as well there on that Gnar pick with the clever and well thought out name LMFAO. I don't think I've seen Little Wall Saint, I believe he's an original roster member.
Yes, he is.
And I'm not so sure about Ruthless, but
Ruthless
with
is
that
not.
Substitute pick on Gnar, we'll have to see how that goes as well, because previously most Gnar picks, as you said, they haven't really done that well against Garen. Their laning phase seems definitely plausible that they can win, but most people just haven't been smart enough to noodle fight this Garen before his level 6, and they usually get turned on before that Gnar ultimate can trigger on them.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I honestly think it's just a skill matchup in the top lane. And in the mid lane, I have never seen this matchup, especially with the reworked Zilean. Regardless if I've seen it or not, it is a totally different champion now. With all the changes to his Q are big, because now he actually can stun. So I want to see how that works.
Definitely so, and We'll have to see. I think the something we haven't really mentioned about the Zillion pick is that movement speed boost he's going to have for Hydra. We were talking about the movement speed from Sivir being a great synergy with him, but that's actually something I think they were going for as well with that Zillion pick. So regardless of how he does in laning phase, he's definitely going to be a very supportive pick of his entire team, and especially that initiation from Hydra. So that'll be fun to see, and I'm definitely going to look forward to seeing that speeding Scorpion just going to stab someone right in the back and pull them into, you know, the caveman and the fishing hook, Jinx, crazy, all this damage. I think we've seen actually a fair amount of Malphites this tournament.
Good riddance.
Yeah. Going on the loading screen, guys. So screen's going black.
There we go. It did crash for a second there, but you know, Riot at their finest. When isn't there going to be a crash?
Between the junglers here, Skarner's definitely going to be a faster, and I think they're both going to be fairly close in sustain. So, but Skarner being a lot faster and having more effective ganks for the most part, especially pre-6, compared to Malphite only having that little marble toss from his Q throwing the wheel at them. We'll have to see if Hydra presses some huge advantages early on, making use of that. And you know, I mention it every game, but I'm still hoping that we see some invades. And not so sure how these teams will fare if they did get invaded on right now. But you know, I won't be able to. I'm waiting for that aggression. It's exciting, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to see some level 1 plays. I'm really interested to see if they're gonna be able to do anything in this level 1. I don't know who would win. If Thresh starts Hook, which he could, it's a possibility. They have a chance to do something. So there we go. And making sure the game is loaded in properly, and it looks like it is. There we go. So, red team is Mr. Beautiful Hydra, and on the blue side, we do have Dayum Dat team though. And we're gonna have a disconnect, so we're gonna be a quick pause.
We're seeing Mr. FeTe over there disconnecting. He's actually reconnecting right now as well, so
probably just a bug splat or something.
According to Zillion, he just said slow laptop.
Ah, okay.
And you know, it maybe Riot just decided to take turns this time and not crash the game for you in this client loading here, but crash him instead.
Oh so. No, it crashed me. It crashed me. It's just it didn't not. OBS didn't decide to be mean to today.
I see. Well, no mercy from Rito today.
Yeah, Rito doesn't like me.
Seeing that Gnar sitting top lane, not even trying to interact here, but we are seeing Garen actually just BMing all around this Dragon Pit with the Skarner and Jinx down there as well. So we'll see if blue team makes anything happen here. We have all 5 team members in one little screen, although Garen is starting to roam up top lane, looking like he's going to return to lane now.
Yeah, I'm just going to reorganize the scoreboard real quick, because I know people like that. There we go. And it's... And, so Thresh started Flay, so they're not going to be looking for anything in the jungle. And it's just... And Garen is going to be leashing the Malphite, who's going to be starting on the top side, while Skarner is going to be starting on the bottom side. So we're going to be seeing a potential level 3 gank from the Malphite in the bot lane, and a potential level 3 gank from the Skarner in the top lane. But Red, with that ward, do see the Malphite, I believe. No, they do not right now. I don't know if he walked on it or not, but they currently don't see the Malphite. But I assume by the time he gets to his blue, they'll be able to spot him and see that he started on the blue side. And taking a look at the mid lane runes, it seems that Vel'Koz doesn't have any armor runes. So he's going for, instead of, it looks like he's going for a lot of AP. While Zillion also doesn't have Zilean and Vel'Koz seem to have the exact same runes. No armor, but they do have the MR. So it's going to be an interesting lane to watch.
Definitely interesting. I think that would actually favor more into Vel'Koz. Zilean does, have, I believe he has the longer attack range, but quite a bit of a longer windup with this animation, and just doesn't really usually work well. We might be looking at a base AD factor here being something to consider as well, but not that huge of a difference. I think Vel'Koz just has the advantage personally.
Yeah, especially with the nerfs to Zilean's auto attack range actually.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it was just previously, because it was like 650. I think it's at 600 now. It's still big, but it's a lot less fast, especially with the wind-up time, as you mentioned. And we're just going to see standard everything at the moment. Vel'Koz is poking down that... Nar's actually going to jump on Garen, do a lot of damage, and Dayum's going to pop that Q and just be able to run away, but looking like he's going to have to recall and potentially teleport back to lane, but there is a big minion wave, so he's going to stick around, and Nar could potentially tower dive. And I just noticed that the Thresh did decide to go coin, so they're going to be looking for that Skarner speed up in the late game.
Absolutely. We'll have to see if he tries to rush for that as an immediate build, or if he opts for the smarter, probably more than likely and safer pick of the Sightstone.
Yeah, that'll be something to look out for. And we do see a lot of damage going onto that Jinx, as well as the Zilean in the mid, and Zilean's out of mana, so he's going to be looking to play passive.
Beep. No real activity going on now, but we might see it soon as Skarner is actually approaching this mid lane, waiting in the bush, going for this Vel'Koz. Vel'Koz is actually somewhat far out, but is it going to be enough? Skarner's going in, using his W to get the movement speed, but we're going to see a disengage from Vel'Koz, knocking him up, but he's getting the speed up from Zilean to go further. Malphite coming in for some support here, actually get some good damage on that Skarner. They have to make him, I don't believe he just flashed, he did just flash.
Hydra just flashed.
Yeah, Hydra flashing away, getting turned on, and the whole entire gang backfiring on him.
And in the top lane, we missed it was a even trade until Nar was able to pop his Mega Gnar and gain some health back, but Nar and Graves are going head to head with the trade and almost killed each other. And Vel'Koz is pushing really deep. And Skarner's just going to come up from behind. Vel'Koz doesn't have his E, nor does he have mana, and he's going to slow. Oh my god. Shoutcast?
Dang it, stop.
I muted him. Oh. Alright, sorry about that. Alright, so we did see that Skarner did get taken down by the Vel'Koz, as he did bait him into the Malphite bush.
Absolutely.
Sorry about the noise, guys.
He said he has no idea what it was doing. Alright. Well, back to the game. Still no activity bot lane. We're not seeing any hooks from Threshland. This Janna is going to be a very passive support. Even with that Lucian, he's got that dash that's on a very short cooldown. Actually choosing to go in and get some grass on that Jinx down bot lane, but she's going to put the Chompers, putting him into a little bit of a fork, having only no choice but to progress even further and continue attacking her. And surely but slowly, Jinx flashes away. And
she also popped the heal. So Jinx, bot lane does not have any summoners, while Lucian and Janna still have all their summoners. And Thresh did not pop anything, so he still has the exhaust in case of a potential gank or just an all-in. And Nar is just harassing this Garen down, doing pretty well in the top lane. He's not really fearing for his life much, and he's scaring the Garen, as Garen has been in low health under his tower for a while, but opting not to go back yet, even with the teleport. As we see the Garen's passive kicking in and just bringing all his life back. And currently, blue team does have a teleport advantage, as Nar just teleported to the tower top lane with a Brutalizer, which is my preferred build for the Nar.
Certainly so. He's already backed, just on his own free will. He's actually keeping up in farm too. We're down just now seeing Garen back, and also pick up the Brutalizer as well.
And a health crystal. And a lot of potions, so he's going to be looking to stay in the lane for a while, as in the bot lane, Jinx is going to throw out her Chompers, but they're going to miss. And Lucian's going to actually deal quite a bit of damage to the Jinx without her being able to do any back.
A lot of activity going down in this bot lane. Jinx getting taking a lot of free harass from that Lucian. It's kind of interesting because she has her BS sword and Lucian hasn't even backed yet.
Yeah, Lucian deciding to get a bit of aggressive, even though he's down a whole item. He has the money, he hasn't backed, and Jinx is literally only 5 gold ahead, as Nargo in the top lane is gonna go hard onto that Garen and almost kill him, but Garen's gonna be able to just run under his tower and let that passive proc and just regenerate a bunch of health. Nar has almost killed this Garen a lot of times. And Skarner's going to be in the mid lane. They're going to get a stun on with the Zillion Bombs and get pulled back by the Skarner. But that's a beautiful knockup by the Vel'Koz as he flashes away. And Lucian's going to go down in the bot lane without the BF sword. He's going to be able to pick up the kill with the help of Janna. Going to exhaust the Thresh, but he's going to ult the wrong way due to the flash from the Thresh. So that's going to be a one for nothing in the bot lane. Even though Lucian did not have a BF sword, Jinx was ahead of him by one whole item. That's pretty big.
Yeah, and one thing I just want to point out, completely in the midst of all this, we're actually seeing a Sightstone picked up on Malphite. As a second time, in mid lane, that Lisso knocks up that Zillion. He hits him with the ult immediately, no chance to react. And I don't even believe he had the mana to use his ultimate to save himself anyways.
And in the top lane, Gnar was able to pick up the Garen, as I believe Garen tried to go in, seeing as he did have that ult, but he wasn't able to drop it on him. And Gnar just picked up the kill and walked away. Malphite's not going to be able to do anything unless Malphite decides to ult, but Gnar's just going to hop away.
Lucian already dominating that lane against the Jinx with no effort whatsoever, even when he was outmatched in items, returning to lane now with a pickaxe and BF sword.
So I'm assuming that right now, Hydra should focus on bot lane, because getting dueled or getting 2v2'd while your AD carry has a whole BF sword ahead of your opponent is kind of a scary thing to see, because that just means like when Lucian does have equal items or more items, he's going to be a lot stronger than you, because he was able to do all that without that item. And now that he has it, and look at him, he's going to be looking to go in with the Janna shield. But the Chompers are going to land. Jinx is actually going to do some good damage back, and Janna's just going to hit her with the Tornado. So it was a pretty even trade. And they're just going to be... But Lucian does not have any potions, while Jinx does.
Looking at these mid lane items, we actually do see the common and expected Tear the Goddess on Zillion right there with 3 Doran's rings. We're also seeing a lot of good trading with this Gnar top lane against Garen, but mid lane build, this Vel'Koz has already taken 2-0. Is definitely going to keep excelling and snowballing at this rate with that needlessly large rod first back.
And it seems like Gnar is actually going for the Avarice Blade, which is going to turn that into Yumu's. I don't agree with that. I don't like the Yumu's on him, especially rushing it, because it delays his tankiness. Gnar as a champion, if he's not in Mega Gnar form, he's very, very susceptible to taking damage and very squishy, so usually you want to rush that tank, and getting a Brutalizer is fine, but look at him, he's going on the Garen, and if he lands his Q, he's going to kill him. He's going to hop, and the Q is going to actually miss, and Garen's going to live.
Seeing a little bit of a wet noodle activity down here with bot lane. Malphite just going in onto the Skarner. Malphite getting ulted by the Skarner, and the Jinx though coming out doing some damage, getting hit with the Thresh wall as well to finish him off. Blue team having to back out of this. The Lucian ultimate going down, just getting as much damage as it can on them as the Janna puts the shield on him. Vel'Koz rotating from mid lane, coming in, wanting to get some kills, seeing who he can snipe out, throwing down the ult, but it's not going to reach far enough to get them, and the Summoner Spell Helix come down.
Nar's going to be teleporting behind them. Hydra's going to get exhausted, same with Lucian. Lucian's going to go a bit ham, too much in the front, as Jinx is able to pick up the kill, and Garen's just going to sprint away, while Jinx, without mana, is actually going to flash the knockup, be able to pick up the kill, while Zillion ults the Jinx, and she's just going to sit there, auto-attacking that Vel'Koz, but Vel'Koz is actually going to get killed under tower, and then Thresh is going to land a hook onto the Janna, but she's going to be able to get away, so 3 low health targets from the red team are able to pick up 3 kills in the bot lane as a little bit of an overextension from the Lucian with a good TP play from Gnar.
That was very well done on the red team's part. After the Skarner went down, all 3 of the members that were there actually were scrambling, having no idea, it looked like, what to do. But as the Gnar teleport came in, everyone just recovered from the fight and immediately started taking down blue team one by one, having great focus and taking advantage and landing great job overall with those thresh hooks as well. From that, we're actually seeing red team taking the lead back here in gold, although it doesn't mean it certainly is much early game. And as you were saying, we have seen that Yomo's Ghostblade being finished on Gnar. I'm not sure how I feel about that overall. I agree with what you said. It's absolutely not a fantastic item on him. And overall, what it does is somewhat gimps the rest of his team by not giving, even opting for the Black Cleaver, which could give the percent of armor pen to the rest of his team for that Malphite and Garen that he's going to be going against.
Like I prefer it because Yumu's, if you're in Mega Gnar, you're not going to really need the attack speed because you're going to be melee for him. And rushing the Yumus right now, you're basically spending 1,300 gold that you could use on armor or health or magic resist because you are very squishy in the early game. It's kind of not expected and in my opinion shouldn't be done. And Lucian's going to go on the bot lane, just get a little bit of trade as Skarner's going to be fine Malphite in his own jungle and they're going to just be dueling, but they're literally just slapping each other right now and they're not doing much damage. They're just going to walk away. And Skarner's actually going to head to the mid as Vel'Koz is just going to walk away. But yeah, I was just saying, even if you did get the Yumas, you could have waited until after you got a bit of tank items. But I just prefer going brutalizing to straight tank and finishing the Black Cleaver as a last item. You don't really need the penetration because you do percentile health damage. And Gnar's actually going to get a kill under tower on the Garen, so Gnar is 3-0-2. And this is complete opposite of what we saw yesterday as Malphite comes to the top, ults the Gnar, but Gnar unable to transform into Mega Gnar for the extra health as Jinx ult zooms by, missing everybody.
You gotta send out some fireworks and celebrate sometimes.
She doesn't have the right skin, come on now.
Yeah, that's right.
And Skarner's gonna find Malphite again in the jungle, but they're not really doing much, and Skarner's gonna take a tower hit and just walk away. Actually, they're gonna ping tower and they're gonna go for the mid lane. And I think they're gonna get this as Vel'Koz and Garen are a bit far away and they have enough minions to tank it a while. And in the bot lane, we see Lucian going ham, killing up the Jinx, and he flashes for the kill on the Thresh, and that's a double kill for Lucian, who's 3-1-0 right now.
And I just want to point out, that all happened very quickly there with that Lucian, but when he flashed, he actually used his ultimate, like, the moment before he flashed, faking himself out and taking the cooldown on that as well.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, and this Gnar is completely outplaying this Garen as he's gonna pop the Yumus and he's gonna just walk into the bush not caring. He's got Mega Gnar for him and he's gonna ultimate to the bush, not hitting the wall though, not getting the stun, but he's gonna have his Q up in a second, but minions are gonna be there to block that for him as Gnar does not toss it.
This mid lane tower almost going down from Vel'Koz. We might see it go down in just a few moments here. The Jinx ult actually going mid lane and hitting and doing a lot of damage, surprisingly. Pushing him back out of lane. Skarner's slowly approaching mid. Might see to get a catch out on him, as, but not going to happen. Vel'Koz has vision on him, and Malphite is coming up for the support and backup here. Heat up and Summoner Spell heal going down on Skarner to get this ultimate landed on that Liss though. He's throwing out his ultimate, actually taking out the Zillion, but his ultimate's going to keep him alive as Janna rotates mid lane. No one here to support them. They only have a support and a tank. Malphite ulting in, but missing everyone and slowly walking away here with the speed up from Janna's passive and her shield, barely living.
Yeah, and Janna had a good nice disengage there to get the Skarner off of Malphite, because I think Skarner had the next auto attack going to be a stun. And Gnar's going to turn to Mega Gnar. There's going to be a hook landed. He's going to get a stun from Gnar, but that stun's just going to be slightly out of range. He's going to just toss a rock at them and walk away. As Mega Gnar is going to come down to an end right here. So they're not going to be looking to fight right now. And they're just going to be heading towards the dragon. And they're looking to get that scuttle.
Actually sending out a ping to see if they can get some vision on this.
And Lucian does place a ward over the wall.
Not only going to help them for the vision and safety of protecting the dragon, but also going to have that availability for the Garen teleport as well. But not looking like red team is going to contest, and a couple of them recalling.
Yeah, and Garen is just top lane pushing right now. So Nar's going to be forced to head back there to defend that tower. And Nar and Garen both have to teleport. So it'll be interesting to see how this dragon area fight is played. As Nar goes in on the Garen, pops the Yumus, is able to get the slowdown with the boomerang. Garen flashes, but he's going to hop in there with Nar. Mega Nar missed the stun though. Hit him with the rock, and he's still chasing. He flashes for the ult, but he misses that. And he's going to throw the rock to pick up the kill. I think now would be a perfect time for Red to actually do the dragon, as Nar does have the teleport and Garen is dead.
This is very true, but now we're actually seeing blue team rotating onto the dragon, trying to take it before red team can even take advantage of the death. Walking straight onto the Scuttle Crab buff, red team knows they are there. We're going to see some... Johnny gets flashed, hooked with the Thresh, and we're seeing Jinx. Wow, so much going down. Jinx actually getting the kill with the ultimate. Red team taking it back with the Skarner, smiting it as Malphite failed.
Yeah, and that was a poor decision from the blue team, seeing as Nar did have the teleport and was able to come down for a 5v4 as Vel'Koz is just going to retreat under his tower. Oh, and the boomerang almost hits on his way out. Skarner's going to actually ult the Garen. And Garen not being the tank since he rushed that Black Cleaver is going to be taken down. I don't agree with the rushing of the Black Cleaver either. There's not really a lot of armor you need to shred on the side of red right now. And again, it's another just 1600 gold wasted into basically like 20 damage and some armor pen and some health.
Game actually with that top lane there. 0-5-0 on the Garen and 6-1 on Nar. Bot lane, we're seeing Lucian chasing after this this Jinx, actually using his Summoner Spell heal to try to get the movement speed to finish her off. He's going to dash right into her and the Skarner, so it looks like he's going to get out-traded here. He gets stunned out and slowly taken down.
And Nar's actually going to catch out Vel'Koz. Vel'Koz is going to miss the knock-up. He's going to hit the slow, but he's going to pop the barrier and the flash as Thresh pops the coin, flashes for the auto attack.
Overall, from what we're seeing, this laning phase is pretty much over for this top lane. Obviously, Nar's just going non-stop, killing him when he does return to lane, then rotating to other objectives in lanes just to get even more kills, and from using his teleport too. This mid lane is actually almost ready to go down for blue team, and we might see Jinx going for the push here finally by herself, with no regard to that Malphite sitting there with how low of that health is on the tower.
Yeah, that should be a free tower for the red team, as Malphite's not going to be able to defend that from the long range of Jinx's rockets. And Skarner's gonna actually need to pull the Janna. I don't think he needed to waste his ult there, as Janna's gonna flash, get the disengage with the ult, but Jinx is just gonna pick up the kill with the rocket. And honestly, I don't feel as if Skarner needed that ult, as Janna is very squishy, and they could have literally just flayed back, hooked, and killed her.
This is potentially true, absolutely, but we did see her blow out the flash to get away, and if she would have blown that earlier, we may not have seen the kill.
And it's going to be a 1v1 with Lucian and Jinx. And Jinx is going to get the better hand of her, living with literally like 10 HP.
Very close fight there, and that's all just based on the crit chance and who gets lucky enough to get the crit. So, a little unfortunate for
Rito, please.
He did actually have equal items and actually more AD than the Jinx, but Jinx's built-in attack speed is just way too much, and he loses the trade there.
Absolutely. As Nar picks up the Randuins, and they're actually going to activate the coin, go in the mid lane, miss the hook, get knocked up, and just absolutely annihilated by the Vel'Koz's ult. That was a bit interesting to see, as Garen was mid as well, so it was literally a 2v2 mid lane that ended pretty badly for the red team.
Absolutely. Nar actually coming back in lane at the moment, but he picked up the Randuin's Omen on his last back, so he's not only going to be tankier than the Garen, but he'll have the CC, the slow, the movement speed increasement from his Ghost Blade, and pretty much unstoppable if he gets in range and lands anything on that Garen, or potentially anyone else at this point of the game.
Yeah. That Garen's really behind in terms of item at the moment. And the Skarner's going to go in, get that speed up, knock up the Vel'Koz. Vel'Koz is going to be able to walk back and slowly kite, and Malphite's going to actually ult the Skarner. Skarner flashes in, picks up the kill on Vel'Koz, and Jinx is just absolutely shredding both the tanks, as neither of them really have a lot of armor. Malphite opting to go for Merc Treads and that Sightstone, and Garen opting to go for that Black Cleaver Rush, and just finishing his Randuin, or his Warden's Mail, as Jinx should be able to get this tower in the next minion wave.
Yeah, that last
she decides to save.
Speaking volumes for what red team has going on for their composition, because blue team just has no way to react at all to this much movement speed. It's not heavy CC. Lucian actually going down on the Jinx, getting out traded once again, using his abilities, not getting the crits from his Infinity Edge, and that actually cost him a huge amount of damage in that trade there.
And he did pop the flash as well, and Jinx didn't. So Jinx's flash is going to be up basically in 5 seconds, while Lucian's not going to have his for a while. As Nar's just going to be able to take this tower. As Jenna comes from the side, but 2-on-1, I believe Nar is totally safe and can actually fight them 2v1. If he did land the boulder and the stun, he would have been able to crunch in there with his ult. And just absolutely kill that Jenna. She's not that tanky of a champion.
Surely but slowly, this game has definitely been snowballing in the red team's favor, but it hasn't solely been because of the team's skill base here. We're actually seeing a lot of rotation from that top lane, teleporting down with the Gnar snowballing himself, and Jinx ulting onto that Lucian after getting some good damage on him under tower even. And Malphite slowly going down, getting hit with the red buff. He might see this last kill. We do. The crit goes down. Garner ulting on to that Liss on the Vel'Koz. He's going to get him knocked up, but will it be enough to save him? The Janna shield comes down, but she's actually still getting followed. He's getting closed on him by 4 people here. There's nothing they can do. Blue team is just getting caught out in their own jungle. The vision game is down. They have wards, but they can't do anything.
Yeah, Nar's just going to go on the Garen, causing him to flash, as Nar just does too much damage right now. And Jinx is going to be able to pick up a free tower in the bottom, and that's a surrender.
Agreeing to surrender. So the first game goes to red team for Mr. Beautiful Hydra.
Hail Hydra. Waiting for the chat spam. That was a very quick game, actually. And of course, I do get the error and have to restart my client.
That was a very quick game, and I think the teams, knowing that if these go on too long, we might not be able to see the finals. Actually,
no. See, the longer we take, the better it is, you know, for my team. Because if it takes too long, then we don't have to play the finals, and I can go sleep. I'm exhausted right now.
Yeah.
Not looking forward to that best of 5, apparently. I would love it if
logging
the
back
league
in
would
now
launch.
myself.
You crashed as well?
Yes, I did.
I've only started crashing today. It's weird. I think you gave me client aids.
I don't think that game was completely out of blue team's favor, although it was snowballing at a very fast rate. Towers were being taken at an extreme rate, as we saw in the last 5 minutes there. 3 towers went down, maybe even 4 potentially from the mid lane even, and it just wasn't looking good. You know, they're not going to waste their time. They're just going to keep moving on to the next game, and we'll see how they do. Both teams have definitely shown they have a lot of skill and potential in this tournament, so we'll have to see if they can pull out some crazy card here and pull the same strategies or better strategies than what Mr. Beautiful Hydra just did.
Yeah, and I need another invite, as the game was full, so someone has to move to... And I'm just going to mute the TS for a second, put some music on while we load up in this lobby. Alright?
Okay.
Alright.
Sound muted. saga begins. Begin war.
Microphone activated.
There we go.
Alright, sorry, I was talking to Indy for a second, so.
All good, all good. I was talking with him about that all too. All right, guys. So we're starting up the next match. We're actually seeing once again the almost the same exact ban so far. In fact, all 4 of those were banned last match, and for a change, we're seeing Nidalee. We did see Dat Listo, and I believe round 2 actually played Nidalee and carry very hard, but we have seen him actually get the pick, and it didn't really turn out exactly the same in his favor. So we'll have to, we're not going to see it this time, obviously now, but somewhat of a questionable ban there.
Do you know what's going on with the allegations?
Okay,
or do you want to address that privately?
It's not a big deal. Both teams have we've addressed the problem to Mr. Beautiful Hydra. They understand what's going on, and Dat Listo, being the team captain, has agreed that they're completely okay with it. And all research basically in mind, there's not much to worry about. We're not seeing an extreme
Well, what happened?
challenge or Smurf here. So nothing is going down, and we're just proceeding with the tournament.
Okay. Because I'm totally lost. What's going on?
Seeing that the first pick Gnar over there being locked in by Hydra, more than likely once again going to be traded with A. Lamafo over there, and also seeing Dat Listo with a very surprising pick. We're actually seeing Azir for the first time in the tournament.
I'm surprised to see that too. After all the nerfs, and I think he's still underpowered.
I agree, absolutely. But I've definitely seen good players, and he has a lot of potential. So we'll have to see if this is one of his well-played champions, and if he can pull off some crazy plays there using that wall.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see like something other than Skarner here. We're gonna see a Vayne lock-in. Is that gonna be a Sona as well?
Alright, we are seeing the Sona as well. So far, those 2 top picks there with that Sona and Gnar, that's actually a lot of team synergy alone in itself with that Gnar knockback and the Sona ultimate. A lot of AoE, crowd control here to just keep the enemy team at lock. Let's see how that fares out for them, and if they go for someone else with the... let's see who they go for the mid lane, actually. That's what I'm somewhat interested in seeing.
Are we going to see another Janna? And is that a Karma top lane?
It may be a Karma. I'm not sure if we're going to be seeing some fancy switcheroo LCS trading here, because that could be the Mundo top lane still, and that might be a Karma mid. But you might be right, it could still be top lane. I don't know what's going on here. No, you're right. Never mind. I'm almost ignoring the Azir pick. Yeah, you're right. That might be a Karma top lane there.
So I'm confused. It could be a Mundo jungle.
This is true. It potentially could.
Could be a Karma jungle. Diamond's done that before.
Yeah, we did see that happen in the Unicorns of Love game, I believe, way back when. That was almost 6 months ago now.
Yeah, a while back. But it did work. He did win.
They did. But it was only one match, guys. Just remember.
Come on now. Diamond. But we're going to see... I hope that's a Heimer. I hope that's a Heimer. LP Hydra? No. And there's going to be... I'm assuming that's going to be a... Lulu in the mid lane, opting to not go for the Vel'Koz from last game.
Yep, and we're seeing the Jungle Fizz being traded out by for LP Hydra there. I don't think we've seen a Jungle Fizz this tournament, so that'll be a very interesting pick. It's definitely strong. He's got a lot of burst potential, and typically, if he does do well early game, he snowballs, much like most people do, but he snowballs really well. Since he's got so much easy escape, so much mobility, and fairly short cooldowns.
Yeah, and he's basically played as an AD champ now due to the fact Riot changed his ult to just increase all damage by 20%. So, a questionable change by Riot in my eyes, but it does open a lot of different build paths for this little Yordle over here. And I want to see how he plays it, if he goes to the AD, if he goes to the AP. I'm assuming it's AD since he's in the jungle, though.
Also, yeah, absolutely. I think it will be an AD. And one thing I want to address is this bot lane. Jekaterina once again opting for the Janna pick. Not a big surprise. That's definitely her prized gem right there. But we're seeing a second Draven going down this game, and that versus Vayne is actually going to be very powerful for them. That's Sona, even so, with the heal and sustain, I don't think it's really going to be enough. Those are both of like that's like the squishiest bot lane there is with that Vayne and Sona, and Janna and Grave in Draven right there. Actually, that's going to be a humongous amount of synergy, and we'll have to see how they do because it will come down to skill level to see who can outtrade who and who decides to be more aggressive. But if that Draven decides to aggress in them and get as much rats as he can early on, I think it's going to be a very exciting and change for things in the bot lane as opposed to being a boring farm fest, much like LCS when you think about it, for the first 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah, and Draven was actually banned last game, so we're gonna be getting this Draven against, and I believe he did pretty good a few games ago on that Draven. So
that he did actually about two games ago versus Biscuits and Mana Pots. They actually did really well for the first portion of the game. Even for his mid game transition, he actually was 0-6 at one point, but then came back because he was farming so incredibly well. And it actually was on top of his farm, even when he was down up to 6 deaths, no kills the entire time. Even after dying, he still managed to keep his farm up higher than the enemy Caitlyn's. So we'll have to see if he can transition the same way, or if not harder, by the even harder in snowballing in this case than in the previous games, and how that's going to benefit the rest of his team. Both teams actually not as tanky as the previous ones, with multiple tanks like the Skarner jungle and Gnar top. We're actually only seeing the Mundo on purple team over there on the right, and the Gnar effectively being the only tank on blue team. So a lot more damage being thrown up for their teams, and a lot more synergy, but not as much sustainment.
yeah, and so it is going to be a Karma top with the Mundo jungle, so that's going to be interesting to see how those work out. And the Azure too. I'm really curious to see how his recent buffs had changed him. Apparently, according to other people, it's still pretty weak, but we'll see.
All right, we're slowly approaching the loading screen, guys. So we'll see the black screen for a minute, and the game will begin in rough, give or take about a minute. So
30 seconds. Depends on how long it takes to load, and hopefully we get no crashes or anything.
That is Zir pick on that list, though. Actually, still kind of interested in seeing how that'll go for him. It's really a wild card for his team, not very expected at all, and it can definitely be potentially good. So, got to see how he's gonna do on this. Gonna have to watch him a lot this game. Going against that Lulu, that'll be interesting to say the least, because both of them have actually been pretty much nerfed out of the current meta and the tournament scene, even for the most part. Because of their scalings being reduced so much. But Azir, somewhat receiving a few buffs and changes in the recent patches, getting his range extended once again for his Sand Soldiers. So maybe going to use that to his advantage and actually take the lead over this Lulu in this mid lane. Well, we're definitely going to have to watch that top lane too. Another unconventional pick with that wildcard Karma. No one opting for the Garen anymore. We're seeing that this Gnar is definitely a predator to worry about and watch out for when going against a Garen. So choosing something completely different, going for an AP caster that's not seen hardly ever, and we'll see if that Gnar has enough knowledge of the game and experience to know how to react to this, or if the Karma is going to be actually have more experience in such an unorthodox pick that she'll be able to defeat him and scale out through the rest of this game.
And I do get the error I was having earlier, so I'm gonna have to reload OBS, not OBS, just the game. but I should be able to get into it relatively quickly. Oh, there we go, and I'm in. So let's check OBS to make sure. Yep, everything is working as planned. And oh, bug splat. All right, Riot. Thanks a lot, man.
Watching the game right now, both teams actually trying to, slowly make their way to the enemy jungle. One blue team peeking down to the bottom right tower, their first tower, right below Dragon, and red team actually going to the upper bush, being right near the chicken camp. And the red team is going to get spotted out from the Lulu, roaming over, being safe, getting a lot of vision control, watching the entrances to their jungle. So red team is slowly backing out here.
And hopefully I'll be able to load in the game with no problems. And there we are. It's working now. Hail Hydra.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
And we're just going to see Fizz looks like he's going to be starting on the bot lane along with Mundo here. And I'm interested to see what Mundo started in the jungle. And he started his Q, which against Gromp is actually going to help a lot due to the percentile damage.
Absolutely. And nothing going on, guys. It's only a minute and 30 seconds into the game. Another casual start as always.
And that Draven already missed catching an axe, so he's going to miss out on one of those stacks, so GG reported.
Game over. Just surrender, guys.
It's Vortic, IRL. And we're going to see how this game plays out. I'm curious to see this bot lane, because as you said, Draven should be able to stomp this Vayne, and but the Sona does have a lot of sustain, but yet again, and Mundo's almost dying to the blue buff. So he's going to probably have to have an early recall here, or yeah, he's going to have to recall early. And he's not going to be able to afford the second upgrade, or the upgrade to his machete. He's going to probably set, actually he's going back to Wolves, deciding not to recall.
I think your camera, this is weird, I think yours is actually ahead of mine even though I'm at live right now.
What are you at?
Live.
Oh, like what's the time though?
2:43.
Okay, I'll pause it. Tell me when you're at 2:59.
Yeah, that's really weird actually. Just go live, I'll actually reconnect since you're on the stream still.
Okay. Well, that was weird. I paused it, and when I hit play again, it just automatically, like, whatever I was at became live again, so I can't jump back to, like, what I missed from pausing it.
Wow, really weird. You got the time traveler right here.
No, I'm assuming that when you connect, you're going to be ahead of me.
Yeah, we got Thick 2G, the Hacksaw.
Yo.
He deserved Challenger, guys. He's getting it for free.
Absolutely. They call me Vortic. And my AP Lisong jungler is the best. And we're just gonna see what time are you at?
3:30.
I'm still ahead of you.
Weird.
Alright, I'm at tell me when you're at 3:41.
And 3:41 now.
Alright. And look at that again, I cannot jump the 15 seconds that I just paused for. I can't jump that, so I think I'm having a bit of a bug here.
Yeah,
I'm able to see into the future. It's a new champion by Riot. He's gonna be called like the Sightseer. You heard it here first, folks. And we're just gonna see standard. Let me just fix this lining up of things. There we go. Draven's able to do a bit of a harass onto both Sona and the Vayne.
We're going to see a clash here from Fizz and that Dr. Mundo up top lane. He was going to get the Scuttle Crab, but actually he's going to get opened up and find a Fizz instead. And Gnar rotating from the top lane bush there to actually take the kill with his Q.
And that Fizz did a lot of damage to that Mundo.
And that was actually a very, quite a big surprise for me that it executed him as well. Seeing a lot of harassment once again going down from that Draven down bot lane. I mentioned that in the champion select. That is a squishy lane against a really, really heavy harassment lane that can easily snowball into its Draven's favor if he can get some clever kills down early game.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there.
And a small thing I think that's worth noting is that Fizz actually on his first back decided to buy the Skirmisher's Saber instead of the Ranger's Trailblazer that Dr. Mundo had. So that trade was incredibly in his advantage over there, even for such a small, cheap upgrade and opting for something other than the sustainment from Rangers.
Absolutely.
Now we see Gnar top lane actually sitting with those double buffs. Gonna get as much harassment off as he can. Fizz once again catching Dr. Mundo out, entering his jungle, countering jungle very effectively here. His whole top lane jungle for Dr. Mundo is completely cleared, and he just pushes Mundo right out of it.
Yeah, and I'm kind of. Come on now, go away. All right, there we go. Kind of surprised that the top lane Karma isn't getting as harassed as I thought it would in there, and as I speak that, Gnar just jumps on, flashes with the ult, gets the stun down, and Fizz is just going to be able to...
That was a very nice cue from the Karma, actually.
Wait, is Fizz going to...
She's going to get a double under tower, taking the double buffs actually as well, I believe, through her death.
Yeah, but they won't stay. Or do they stay now? Or is that only due to deaths by jungle? I don't...
They do stay.
Oh wow!
That actually all comes down to the order that they died in.
Yeah. I believe she's only gonna get one of those as Fizz got the kill, then she died, and she has none of them. Like I thought it was only you have to have smite.
There you are.
We're just gonna see very basic lanes as bot lane and mid lane are just basically even except for a few minions. And Gnar opting to go for that, actually Fizz comes in for the yank but gets a beautiful, I don't know what the move's called, but beautifully disengaged by the stand aside from Draven.
Very nice, yeah, very true. And actually, that lane as well, even further with that point in mind, you know, even more disengaged on top of the Janna. So that is an incredibly safe lane.
Yeah, I feel as if Draven is playing a bit too passive. As being a bully, AD carry, he's not really bullying them too much. I'd like to see him get a bit more aggro. And as I say that, he gets a bit more aggro. And FaZe is looking to pick up the Devourers. And Azura's taking a 20 farm lead in the mid lane, as Karma is doing absolutely a lot of damage to that Gnar. I would have liked to see Gnar build that Hexdrinker instead of that Brutalizer, due to the fact that he's facing an AP top laner. And Azura's calling for a tower dive as Mundo comes to the top as well, and Gnar's going to try to recall, but doesn't seem like it's going to happen, and Azura's going to knock him up and be able to get the kill.
Very nicely done, actually, as he was getting ready to leave the lane, so taking full advantage and not letting him escape. Just a free kill sitting right there for them.
And I'm surprised that Mundo actually went for the Trailblazers. He doesn't really need the regen, being such a, with that passive of his, and the ability to have his ult up every minute, basically. I don't really see the need for the, and Draven's gonna be able to pick up the flash from Sona.
Yeah, and we would be seeing an ultimate right about now, but he doesn't have the mana still. I don't think he's gonna have enough anytime soon. Only sitting at 50, 60 mana right now. The ult cost 120, so we got a while to go.
And Azur's going to be going to the bot, but he's not going to be able to get anything, as they're just going to be under tower, and he doesn't want to dive that. Granted, they did have the shield from that tower as well.
Lulu and FiZ rotating around. Lulu coming from mid lane, following her lane. Not going to get anything from this, though. FiZ trying to throw out that ultimate, but nowhere near enough. Fair to attempt, but not going to be enough.
And Dar's going to jump with the Karma top lane, and Karma's going to be able to get the snare down and throw the Q on, and be able to do a good trade with him. As FiZ is in the bot lane, still. Looking like he's going to disengage, go to the middle, as Mundo is pushing that in, looking to get some tower damage.
FiZ ganking onto that Azir mid lane, getting some slows off, making use of that red buff. It's trying to use that Azir wall to push the FiZ back, but he's just going to jump right through it. It actually missed him completely. In bot lane, we're also seeing as well Draven going under tower, trying to kill that Vayne, but he's going to get ulted from the Sona and killed as the tower takes the last hit, and Sona gets the kill.
Yeah, it was a bit of a bad play by the Draven, not expecting the Sona to be there already. As she was just able to ult him under tower while the tower was just hitting him.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, I feel like Vayne had already closed a little bit too much range for him to go and try to waste those cooldowns on. We saw even after he tried to progress towards her, even blowing the Summoner Spell heal for the movement speed, he still wasn't even in attack range. So, yeah,
he did catch an axe, which would have reset his movement speed. But he didn't have the mana actually to be able to activate that. He would have gotten the kill if he had about 40 more mana.
Interesting pickups for the red team builds over here. We're actually seeing 2 more Automatons already being built, and LP Hydra on the FiZ taking the first dragon, making incredible use out of the percentile damage from his W and all that attack speed from the Ferocity enchantment on his buff. Draven going in on that Vayne, but missing the ultimate, I believe, not getting quite enough damage to take her out, but the last Q almost gets it.
And Azur's going to almost get the Gnar down, but, not Gnar, the FiZ down. As Gnar's going to flash for the boomerang on Azur, pick up the kill. But Lulu did pop the ult on the FiZ to keep him alive, as the Azur did ignite.
We're getting some very close kills and trades here in this match so far. So it'll be interesting seeing how these scale throughout the rest of this game. I still think, even with these kills and this lead in mind, it's still very close for both teams. And I don't think this gold is going to make a humongous difference in the transition to the mid game right here.
Yeah, a few games ago, actually, Dayum Dat, which is the red side, did in fact we're losing, and then they had an 0-6 Draven, and the Draven ended up carrying the game. So it's going to be exciting to see. If they can do that again.
A repeat of that process. He's 0-2 right now, trying to, just retrace his sets, I guess. It'll be really interesting to see how he fares and if he can come back. This time we're not seeing as massive of a gold lead as he had before over the enemy Caitlyn, but he is still maintaining his lead, so.
Yeah, and Mundo's just going to give that blue to the Azur, so it's going to be... I'm actually curious as to what that Azur is going to be building next. Usually, it could be an Assure's Tooth for the attack speed and the cooldown. But Azur already has 35% cooldown, not including the blue, so he has 25%. So getting that Assure's will give him the 40%.
Overall, I think something to point out, I haven't really seen many ganks going down from this Dr. Mundo. We did see him get, counter jungle earlier on, but it still shouldn't excuse the fact that he has a lot of power, and he's had time to recover from that, I believe. But we haven't really seen him gank bottom, mid lane. He's just been actually pushing and supporting lanes as they leave or get killed.
Yeah, and honestly, like I stated before, I'm not a big fan of the Ranger's Trailblazer on the Mundo, as he doesn't need that mana regen back end. He doesn't really have a lot of CC if he misses the cleaver as FiZ goes in, but I'd like to see him pick up the Stalkers, and FiZ is going to get exhausted, and he's going to get picked up by the Azur.
Karma's teleporting in, getting Vayne actually being focused here, but getting so much health back from the Lulu opening and the shields. Still alive, but finally getting taken out from the Azir. Nice Q from Karma to get the slow and finish onto Sona, and Lulu is stuck in a rock place, hard place with the rock, whatever, I don't know right now. Azir actually taking a lot of damage under tower, but not going to go down.
And that was a pretty good clean fight from the red team.
Wow, we see the finish from Lulu. I didn't even realize that Literal Lance was on anyone there, but landing the Q, maybe it wasn't and she just got it, but I saw no particle there. That was a little surprising.
Yeah, I didn't notice anything either. I'm sorry, I'm yawning really badly. I'm tired. I didn't see any particles either. And as Nar goes in, he's going to stop the Janna from recalling, but he's not going to be able to do anything. So they're just going to walk away after his boomerang misses. And FeTe is going to be taking the blue buff for himself here.
Gnar rotating to this mid lane, actually just picking up that pink ward that Azir placed earlier. Rotating back to top lane as FiZ was actually shoving the lane for him. So, not a lot of activity, but seeing little things like this. Mundo getting a giant spell from that recent back. Looks like he might. I'm not sure what he's going to go for here. There's a few options between that Warmogs and the Sunfire Cape, but I'm just going to hope for that Sunfire Cape first on him.
Yeah, that's what I'd assume from him to show up with.
We're seeing the same thing as recent games actually on that Gnar top lane, Ayla Mafo over there, getting the Yomo's Ghost Blade and actually just activating it as he goes into Mega Gnar onto Karma, getting as much damage as he can. FiZ is going to be sitting around the side hatch and throw down his ult in her, and she gets knocked back into the wall, and then the buffs and dots from FiZ actually finishes her off.
Yeah, FiZ did a lot of damage. That was probably unexpected by the Karma, as I don't think she used her ult shield. Or even just ult W. As Azir comes to the top one, but FiZ is going to dodge with the W.
Getting some nice creepers on that Mundo to keep him slowed. He actually has to flash away.
Yeah, as in the bot lane, Sona's going to ult.
Janna and Vayne actually going to ult as well and knock Condemn Draven back into the wall. Draven needs to get some auto attacks in or else he's going to lose these trades really quickly right here, but she might be able to win. The last, no, not enough, but the Janna actually on Vayne with her Zephyr going down, but Lulu's rotating from mid lane. Janna throwing her flash, but getting the heavy 70%, 80% slow from Lulu's Glitter Lance, and looking like she's going to be able to get out now.
Yeah, that exhaust played a huge part in her survival. If she didn't get exhausted Lulu, she wouldn't have been able to get out there.
A lot of pings going down for this Dragon control right now. Red team has 3 members, their mid lane, support, and jungler. Top lane sitting right here. Gnar does have his teleport, but he's right in their face. He can leave lane teleport, but he's not going to do that. He's just going to throw rocks at them. They want this presence. Sona's the only one not here or near the Dragon Pit right now, so blue team's actually going to start up on it, even though they don't know this. So this is going to be going greatly in their favor as the Mega Gnar is actually going to be running out any moment now, as we see it right there. Draven's still focusing on the dragon. I think it's a wise decision right now. FiZ waiting with the ward. They're actually going to go in.
He's able to smite it.
Steal the dragon, though he's taking it. It's costing him his life.
But red team is all low, and Vayne is able to kite properly. She might be able to get us some kills.
Very effectively as a team here and try to chase down this Gnar and Mundo. But he's going down from the Gnar, it looks like, getting some good support from that Janna, however, saving him very slightly as Vayne comes in with her ultimate as well.
Yeah, Gnar was able to get a good ulti off just before he died. But good dragon steal from the FiZ, as it was a 3-for-1 though after the end.
Mundo actually opting for that Warmog's armor. Not a bad choice, but I think being tankier at this point in the game would do him a lot more, even though obviously that will make him somewhat healthy. We're seeing the Blade of the Rune King actually being picked up already on that Fizz. That's actually a surprising amount of gold he's been received throughout this game. This is really early to have 2 finished items, even though one is the jungle item. Between these ADCs, it'll be a little interesting to see how they're going to be faring for the rest of this game, because while that is definitely Vayne's core item with the Blade of the Rune King, but we see Draven actually going in all on Vayne, getting her to half health with his crit from his Infinity Edge there. Azir trying to rotate through, but getting interrupted by the Sona as he tries to advance forward, but Karma just sitting around the area, coming for the Sona, getting some good damage, and I believe the stun or snare from her W as well.
Yeah, and Draven did use Flash to get that last auto attack onto the Vayne, so he's not going to have that for about 5 minutes. As Mundo's getting caught out.
This Fizz, and actually Lulu actually doing a ton of damage to him, even because he has no resistances for either of them, just health. He did have to pop his ultimate there, but it wasn't enough. And popping it early actually is somewhat of a questionable decision, because he will be costing himself more health in the end if he can't get it back up. Lulu pulling the Glitter Lance and flashing over to try to get this Azir, but good ultimate from Janna to get range and stop her from using her abilities. Draven in a hard place right now, actually getting hit by Gnar and the Lulu, but the shield from Janna saves him as Gnar is still trying to go for them.
Gnar's actually going to flash, hit that boomerang, and he's not going to follow up with it as they all retreat under the tower as the shield from the tower gets applied. Another fight where 3 to 4 members from the red team are just getting away with very, very little health. And this gold leaf for the red team is just very minuscule. As Mundo did pick up the Warmogs, I would have liked to see him go for that Sunfire, as you had mentioned, to get a bit of the armor, as Fizz is going to be doing a lot of percentile damage at the moment.
Absolutely, and I think he would have stayed there for a little bit longer, but knowing his place, actually backing out when he sees multiple teammates.
And that tower's just a few more hits from being done, so he can just walk there anytime he wants.
And Vayne rotating bot lane, trying to get a good catch on this Draven, but he's got a little bit too much awareness. As even though they don't have wards, he's just playing it safe and getting out. As Vayne actually ends this the 3 auto attacks with the Silver Bolts there.
Yeah, and Azir and Mundo are actually roaming bot lane right now, hoping to maybe get behind the Sona and the Vayne, but they know, and it looks like they're going to be able to get away with the Sona speed buff. Azir's going to try and go in, he's going to get the knock up, he's going to flash ult, and Sona's going to get a very good ult, which is going to allow Vayne to pick up... Actually, she's not going to be able to get a kill, as Draven was able to get that Sona.
That was a nice save from the Janna, even though it wouldn't have executed that Azir, but nice save and keeping him in a healthy state to keep him, in the fight, not risking too much. But yeah, that was a ton of damage actually returning and almost taking Vayne out again. Very nicely done on that tower dive there, even though they weren't very committed under the tower.
Yeah, I agree with you. And
he's actually going to get condemned to the wall as Vayne gets hit with the Lulu ultimate, but she doesn't have her ultimate anymore. She's very low on health. She should have backed. Definitely taking a risky play there, trying to get that extra farm and gold.
Yeah, they don't really have any wards, so they really did not expect four of the members from the red team to be in the bot lane. So that was it was good play, but at the wrong time from the Vayne and the Lulu, which cost them a tower and potentially more. But
Absolutely.
looks like